everybody, and welcome to our live session here today for our MSc in End of Life Studies here at the University of Glasgow School of Social and Environmental Sustainability. My name is Amy. I am delighted to be here today and to welcome you all to this session. We're going to be answering all of your questions, so if you have any questions for us in the team, just send them in, it's no problem at all. You can use the comment section here on the video, or you can go to slido.com and use the code hashtag #UofGDumfries. The information for that is sliding across the bottom of the screen right now. So you can go over, send over any questions that you have for us, and we will get those answers to you as soon as we possibly can. So for now, I would love to introduce our program director. I have Marion with us here today. Hi, Marion.
Hi,
Hi,
Amy.
Amy. Thank you so much for joining us. We have lots of questions to get through, I'm sure. So for now, I'm going to let you take it away and talk a little bit more about this fantastic program.
Great.
Great.
Well,
Well,
thank you for the introduction. And I, as Amy said, am Dr. Marion Croswick, and I'm the program convener for the End of Life Studies Master's program. And this is a fully online distance learning opportunity. And it's a stackable degree, which I'll talk a little bit about in a minute. And I am the program convener, and I also teach on the course as well as some of my other colleagues. And the program started in January 2021, so we're still a fairly young program. And our goal really is to provide a course of learning and examples that offer new and critical perspectives on end of life practice and policy, but it's interdisciplinary and quite broad in the sense that it's not just around policy and practice things in relation to palliative care, but it's also social and sociological, historical. So we're also looking at issues around representations of death and dying and ethical questions. And so we really are a wide spectrum interdisciplinary program. And the goal here is for us from a social science perspective to also draw from the medical and health sciences as well as the humanities. Now, the program is the legacy of the Glasgow End of Life Studies Group, and we are a cluster of researchers doing work on a international scale, including quite a wide range of topics, including hospital-based palliative care, the concept of total pain that was developed by Cicely Saunders. We're quite active in looking at poverty and end of life experiences and equity informed palliative care, but we are also focusing on newer public health approaches to the end of life. We do research in relation to the end of life and death doula movement, assisted dying, which has just been legalized here in the UK, as well as in many other jurisdictions, and its growth and rollout. There is work done in visual representations of the end of life, creative writing, and we also work in the area of ecological grief. So you can see from this that we have significant expertise as well as scope. And the program consists of 6 courses, 2 that are offered each semester. You can do both courses and be considered working on your accreditation full time. Some take 1 course per semester. Sometimes people even have to take a semester off because of caring duties or their own work. And so it's this very flexible um, framework. And in the fall, we offer assisted dying and global challenges. And in January, we run the public health approaches and a course called the Continuum of Aging and Dying. And then in April, we do cultural representations of death and dying. And then we have the theory, methods, and ethics and end of life research. And so people can come into the course at any point, and I'll talk a little bit more about those entry points. But in relation to what to expect in our program is because we have 3 intakes a year in September, January, and April, Some students are new each semester, and then some are continuing through their courses. And so it's a really interesting mix of students who are more established and new ones coming in. And because it's online and fully asynchronous, you can move through your material in each course in a flexible way. And there's only two deadline points per semester for that, and those are the assessments. And we've worked really hard to try and ensure that the assessments are not just academic tick box exercises, but they're useful to people in their own places of work or their own interests. And some students have developed digital portfolios from their assessments. And so while they do include essays, we also have things such as research posters, reflexive journaling, presentations, and creative engagements. It depends in relation to each course, but on average, you can expect to spend about 10 hours per week on a course and overall about 200 learning hours. But that includes your assessment time. And so that gives you a sense of what to expect. And again, as I said, we're fully asynchronous, which means that you don't actually have to interact with anyone at a specific time. But what we do have is an optional live 90-minute weekly Zoom seminar, and that gives the students a chance to come together once a week to discuss the material and assessments. And those are very popular. And for those who can't attend, they're recorded and put on our learning platform so that they're held all semester and you can review them. All of our lectures are pre-recorded. So again, that means you can take on your learning at the time that's convenient to you. We have a very active WhatsApp student group, which is great because we do have people from literally all over the world. And one of the things too, we found that many people who are drawn to our program may have been out of school for some time. So we provide extra scaffolded support if needed for students in their first semester or semesters so that they're able to get the most out of their learning journey. And as an online program, what you could expect in any kind of given week is 2 to 3 lecture segments, 1 to 2 readings. We usually have some sort of links to relevant discussions that are happening in the media or in policy currently. We also have a series of expert interviews. There are reflections for students to engage with the material from the week, and then the live seminars I discussed. So that kind of gives you an overview of some of the key characteristics of the program. And this is just a snapshot of what it looks like on FutureLearn, a week. This one is from our Global Challenges course. And so you can see here that there are different steps with different activities within them. Now, our curriculum is really interdisciplinary, as I said, and so we have learners from uh, bereavement support, social work, doctors, funeral celebrants. I'm not going to list them all here, but I think this is one of the real strengths of our program is the diversity of people who come together in the program. And one of the high points is the students learning from each other as much as from the material. And uh, again, one of the, I think, strengths of this program is just the sheer diversity of people who come together within the umbrella of the program and have an opportunity to learn and meet and talk with each other. And so far, every year we've had a optional summer school that the students themselves organize and I lead, and that highlights to me really the bonds that people have created from these different countries. And if you'd like to read more about the student experiences, because it's one thing for me to be here saying, what a great program we have. You can see here, I've just highlighted, we have an end of life studies blog, and we have had students write about their experiences and some of their visits to Dumfries in the summertime. And so I highly recommend you go and look at those. And so I'm just going to end on that there are different ways to study in this program, which I think is extremely valuable. And so you can start with a micro credential, which is a short 10 credit course, and that also has continuing professional development credits attached to it. We now have single course offerings. So if you're interested, you can take one course. But then there is the certificate of 3 courses, the diploma of 6 courses, and then the full MSc of 6 courses and dissertation. And we have had quite a few students who have started at a more modest entry point and then decided to roll over into a more ambitious accreditation. And so this is a very flexible way. You can start and see how much you like the program or how well it works for you in your other responsibilities in daily life. And you can start in January, April, or September. And I believe, Amy, that's everything I have.
Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Um, uh, Great to see. I mean, the flexibility that this program offers really is something really quite special. I think that you can take that one course and really just kind of dip your
Hmm.
toe in a little bit and see how it works for you, and then you can really start to build up that qualification. And you know if you want to go for that whole MSc, then great. And but there's just the flexibility is so brilliant. I think for students who might not know exactly what they want to do, but want to give it a go, and I
Hmm.
think that's fantastic. And I mean, you mentioned about it being online on Future Learn, and I think it's always worth mentioning again. This was purpose built to be online. This wasn't a program that was moved online. It was purpose built to give you like a really unique online experience, which I think is really important as well. So great to hear all about that. Oh, I'm so excited talking about it all. We have questions, which is amazing. Thank you so much
Right.
for sending in questions. We're going to get through them as fast as we can. And just a reminder that you can send your questions into slido.com and use hashtag #UofGDumfries, or you can use the comment section. Don't worry if you've not been able to watch this session live and you're watching it a little bit later. It's not a problem. Send in your questions anyway. The chat and the comment section will be open for a little bit longer over the next few days. So please just keep sending them in. They'll be monitored and we'll get answers to you, just as soon as we possibly can. But for now, here's our first question. We have, can I apply the learning from this program into different sectors? I'd like to work with communities, but not only in healthcare. I mean, great question. I mean, Marion, I'll let you take it away with this one.
Yeah. And I think it's an increasingly relevant comment because what we're finding is that in healthcare and at state level and at policy, there's more and more emphasis about aging and end of life being a responsibility and opportunity for communities to come together and reorganize and even in some instances revolutionize their approaches to care at the end of life and practices and policies. And so, one of the core aspects of our program is looking at the emergence of different community approaches to the end of life, but not only looking at them as case studies, but also critically analyzing their strengths and their challenges and what implementation looks like in different socio-cultural economic settings, and having insight into why one's work in specific instances and maybe not in others. So we focus on palliative and end of life care as a ecosystem that includes specialist palliative care, although we're not a medical program, we're a social science program. But really, what our focus is on how those macro levels and how the micro level experience of aging and being at the end of life, including caregiving, are at this kind of meso community level. And so that is kind of an infrastructure of the whole program and the material we use.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that's great. I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much for sending it in. We have another question here. I believe this was sent in ahead of time, so hopefully we've answered this question in the presentation already, but always good to reiterate. Will we always be in classes with the same people? I mean, we talked this already a little bit, but maybe we could reiterate just a little bit there, Maya.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, just actually before I jump onto that question, I was thinking about one of the students we currently have who is a critical care doctor, and they took a course initially on public health approaches to the end of life because they were interested in initiating a compassionate communities project in their community, and found the course so useful that they have wound up now enrolling in the full MSc. And the example I bring it up is because here we have a medical professional who ostensibly needs no more accreditation and is wanting themselves to work in the community and try a different approach, has found value and in a specific initiative that they're wanting to undertake in their own community. And there, with the students, there are different courses so that you may be in the same class with the same people, but you may be not. We usually have at least a couple of people joining us every semester, and so you will find that there will be a mix of people in the courses, and so there will be a core group of people who are taking the MSc who may have all started in the same year, and there are ones maybe who have started more recently and are just taking one or two courses. So there is a diversity as well as kind of a core group, and it works really well because the kind of genealogy of the program is that by the time one yearly cohort is moving towards graduation, they're almost mentoring the new students who are coming in and sharing their experiences and best practices.
That's such a sweet way of putting it as well. Yeah, that's exactly how it does happen. Everyone just kind of is there to support each other
Yeah.
as they work through the program, and yeah, that's a really nice way of putting it. I like that.
Well, this year, this is a little off topic, but I think shows the kind of flavor of the students in the program is that our initial graduating cohort are having a reunion in Mexico City, and there's
That's
7 of
incredible.
them going.
Oh, I
So,
love that. I
I'm
love
gonna go
that.
and meet them as well.
Oh my goodness. Okay, take lots of pictures. Say hi to
So
everyone for me.
it does like these are bonds in which there's value outside of the program as well, and so students are making really significant connections to other students.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's. Oh, I love that. That's so exciting. Say hi to
Mhm.
everyone from
I
me,
will.
all my love. Oh well, this actually leads on really nicely to our next question that we have here, which is: Are we still allowed to visit the campus even though this is an online program? I mean, a resounding yes, of course. You're more than welcome. Come over anytime. It's not a problem. This is your campus. This is your university. So we have 3 campuses in Scotland that you can come and visit us here in Dumfries. So you can go to the Gilmore Hill campus in the city of Glasgow, and we have our Garstheap campus just a little bit outside the city of Glasgow as well. So lots of opportunity for you to come and visit. Use the library. We have a library here in Dumfries. We have a library up in Glasgow. All our student facilities, sports facilities, we're all here. So you're more than welcome to visit. But Mary, maybe we could talk a little bit more about the student visits that we've had, a couple of times over the years.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the program started in 2021, and it was during the pandemic. So in that first year, there was no gathering, but the students were quite keen. So we have students in the UK, and we have students in Canada and the States and all of those countries I was telling you about. We've had students, and they decided to all come to Scotland in the second year of, so in 2023, and they came for a couple of days just for a social, and it has kind of become an annual event, although it's optional, and of course many students can't afford whether the time or the money. And so what it's kind of evolving into is a 3 to 4 day visit where we then kind of make an event of it. We'll have invited guest speakers, and we'll do some focused writing uh, groups, and also, be tourists. And
Yeah.
so we try and ensure that in those instances that we have some online
Yeah.
engagement, so that our opportunities, so that students who can't come can still participate in listening to the guest speakers, and taking some of the extracurricular activities
Yeah.
that we're doing. And our next one is July 12th.
So
So
excited.
as I say, to echo you, Amy, the visits are, something that are self-organized by the students. And I just, every year we kind of collaboratively develop how they want to come and visit the campus. But we also have students who are more local and come down informally, to, use the resources, but also to meet with the instructors. And we have a lecture series on our campus that students are invited to attend. And so it is a space in which you are always very welcome, and we work uh, with students in the ways to make those visits, whether they're coming from near or far, as most productive and valuable to them as possible.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fantastic. And for anyone who is considering they'd like to come for a little visit, if you want to make it more formal, more of a bit of a guided tour, you're more than welcome. You can go to our website. It's glasgow.ac.uk/Dumfries. There's a big button that says book a campus tour. You can book a private tour on a time that suits you, or you can book in for one of the group ones as well. It's up to you, but you're always more than welcome to come and see us on campus. And Marion, as you say, we've got our seminar series, we've got events that go on, we've got social events that happen on campus as well.
Yeah.
We've got our annual PG postgraduate barbecue that we have in the
Mhm.
spring, which is always really good fun. So you're always more than welcome to that as well. But yeah, head over to the website, and we've also got some student stories there, I should mention as well. One of the last times we had some of our master's students here in Dumfries, we filmed some videos with them. They were really keen to kind of tell their stories a little bit. So you can go onto our website, just at the link here, glasgow.ac.uk/Dumfries, and you can watch some of these videos where they share a little bit, these students, about their motivations, how they're finding the programme, their visit to Dumfries as well. So you should definitely check those out. They're really cute. They're really sweet photos and videos as well. So yeah, I think we've got time for. We could talk about this all day. I think. I think we've got time for maybe one
Well,
more
the only
question.
thing I was going to add to that is we've had several people who have emailed and said, I'm not sure, can you give me more information? And I have connected them also with other current students or past students, so that they can talk about their experiences without me being the mediator of them. And so if anybody is interested in talking with another student, I'm more than happy to connect that.
That would be great. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, we could definitely talk about this forever. I think we've got just enough time for one final question here. But
Sure.
again, we'll be hanging around for a little bit longer, so send in your questions after the fact as well. It's totally fine, and we will be monitoring their comment section to reply to you if you have any further questions. But for now, final question here. How much freedom is there to do assignments on topics I choose? I'd like to do some work that will help my community. Great question. Love that question. I'll let you take it away, Marion.
Yeah, and again, I think the concern here is about relevance.
Yeah.
And one of the things we've worked, excuse me, we've worked with quite diligently is how to make assessment formats ones that are relevant to people, regardless of where they're at. And so, because we have such a diverse group of people, having a standardized assessment is challenging. And what we then do is work with students to best understand what the outcome of that assessment ideally will be for the student. And so,
Yeah.
some current examples is we have a student in Wales who just finished a research poster and is now taking that research poster into some of the public schools for teachers to help them learn a bit more about death literacy in public education. we have had students who we one of our students is a part-time poet, as well as a funeral celebrant, and one of our modules was about this concept of lonely dying, where one of the things is that people are unaccompanied as their remains are dispersed, and this initiative that's happening in the Netherlands to have a community poet be at the graveside, and they decided they did their assessment on that, and they were so taken with it that they have started their own practice of doing this, and they wound up
Wow.
being spotlighted on BBC for the initiative that they're doing. And then again, I talked about that critical care consultant who is taking the public health course, and the outcome of that was that they developed a engagement protocol, so that helped them engage and work with community members in a way they hadn't previously considered. And so it's not so much that there's freedom of topics, because we have so many topics that, of course, but it is more about what you do with that topic that we were also equally interested in.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. I mean, some of those examples are just mind. I mean, like the impact that they're making is so impressive, and so wonderful to even think about. Like our students are going out into the world and being able to do all this kind of stuff while they're still studying and working, and it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And I think it's.
Well,
Oh, sorry. Go on. Yeah, yeah.
no, I'm sorry. There's a little bit of a lag. I
I'm
apologize.
sorry.
But what you were saying reminded me of is we also have what are called collaborative dissertations,
Yes.
where students can undertake their final piece of research work with a group or organization, whether that be their employer, which we've had with NHS staff,
Yeah.
or something that their other students might be more personally interested in. Um, where we had one student in England who worked with a community group with people over the age of 85 to develop a new outreach program. And so I just wanted to broaden that out, saying that we are happy to help students work with any organizations or their employers to engage with those subjects.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. And so important as well, not just I think it's important to highlight not just the benefit that the communities and that these organizations will gain from having our students with them, but the students themselves, our students are going to be building those employability skills, those career development skills, being able to kind of level up a little bit of what they're doing
Well,
here.
this is it. One of our nurses who's now been promoted, in part because of their final topic, has implemented a "No One Dies Alone" project in their hospital, and this was done in part because she knew she would be going for promotion, and
Yeah,
she was able to do a project that was both really meaningful to her, had manifest change in the hospital, and provided her with a promotion criteria.
amazing. Like amazing. I mean, we've certainly got a lot of resources here as well. Just to highlight, when you are a student at the University of Glasgow, we have a full suite of employability and career development resources at a school level, a college level, and a university level as well. There's loads of these available online. As a school, we also have every single one of our programs has a careers landing page as well. So the link to that is kind of scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. It's glasgow.ac.uk/schools/SES/postgraduate/careers. Fantastic landing pages, because you can go there and have a look about all the different kind of areas that our students have maybe gone on to, or that they could go on to, salary expectations, working conditions and timings and things like that, as well as current vacancies, how to get into these jobs, and then also links to all the university support as well. So I just wanted to mention that also, because when we're talking about, these portfolios, these assignments, and actually making a difference in the world, we also kind of think about our career development support as well, which is so important for students. So just wanted to highlight that. I'm so sorry. Again, we're really good at talking about this stuff, Marion. We could talk forever. I'm afraid we're out of time though for today. So I would just like to say thank you so much to everyone who has joined us today, who is watching us live. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact and we're no longer live, but we're still here, send in your comments, send in your questions. We're monitoring the chat, so we will be getting some answers to you. If you have anything you want to ask us as a team, please just send them in. But for now, I will say thank you so much, Marion, for your time and for your input and your insight today. It's been so valuable, and I really hope to everyone watching we've helped a little bit answer some of your questions. And we'll say goodbye for now, but thank you so much, and we hope to see you very, very soon. Bye for now.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Marion. Bye.